Hello dear students, let us begin with some of the important multiple choice questions which can appear for CET as well as for NEET. Okay, so the questions are in depth discussed here. Each question I am going to read and explain you the 4 choices, and among those each choice I will explain whether it is true for this or why to avoid this choice. I will explain that also. So in one question we are going to discuss 4 answers, and all the remaining 3 answers I will give you the questions also expected ones. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. It says that oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis. Means that's the first question which says that oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis. See, the question is very tricky. It says photosynthesis at the end, but it's saying oxygen is not released, right? So you can just think of this. If at all you think of photosynthesis, there must be a release of oxygen in light reactions, right? You have studied already. And the light reactions you have the cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. For cyclic photophosphorylation, you will have no oxygen release, but in non-cyclic there is release of oxygen from water, right? So if the photosynthesis happens in the green pigments or chlorophyll, means all the green plants and algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, everything will help in production of oxygen. But the question is, oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis in which type of organisms, right? So once such questions appear, instead of looking at the 4 choices, we have to think one thing. It must be an organism which is not having chloroplast. First thing is sure. Because if you think it is chloroplast, that must be releasing oxygen. But it is saying no oxygen. That means it doesn't have chloroplast. Then let us see the 4 options and see why one is correct, why other 3 are wrong. First option says in cycus. So first thing, you should know what is cycus also. Because if you don't know the meaning of that answer, you can't blindly take it right or wrong. Okay, cycus is a type of gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are the old age plants. They are having no fruit wall around seed coat. They are called naked seeded plants, and they are normal green plants. That means your choice should be not cycus, because cycus is a regular green plant. Okay, because it will undergo regular photosynthesis like all the angiosperms or bryophytes and all. Every photosynthetic activity there should be a release of oxygen. But second option says nostoc. What is nostoc? So first option is saying cycus, second is saying nostoc. Okay, then you can choose right one of this. Third one is saying green sulfur bacteria. Green sulfur bacteria. Then the last one is saying cow. So if you know what are all the 4 types, you can very easily identify which is the right answer. So do you know the meaning of nostoc? Nostoc belongs to which group, right? Because when question if you are discussing, you should know all other options, why are they wrong. So nostoc is a kind of blue-green algae which belong to cyanophycean member or cyanobacteria. It's a prokaryote. It's having a filament structure. Nostoc is blue-green algae. It will have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, phycoxanthin, phycocyanin. So all are there. That means it has to undergo photosynthesis in a normal path, right? It has to produce oxygen. Therefore, second option is wrong. For this question, it is wrong. Third is saying green sulfur bacteria. What are green sulfur bacteria? You must have learned this in bacteria itself. It's a first PUC part where you have learned types of bacteria based on their nutrition, right? There are 2 types in nutrition for the bacteria, autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. Autotrophs will synthesize their own food. Heterotrophs have to depend upon other organisms. Like heterotrophs, most of them are parasites. They cause diseases in humans and other organisms. So that cannot be the answer, because they are saying it is undergoing photosynthesis. That means in photosynthesis this will not normally will not have the oxygen, always it will have oxygen production, therefore The bacteria, if it is undergoing heterotrophic nutrition, then it need not undergo photosynthesis. But it should be autotrophic bacteria. Under autotrophic bacteria, you have two types. One is phototrophic bacteria and another one is the chemotrophic bacteria. Phototrophs must have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. They will produce oxygen. But what about the chemotrophs? Chemo refers to chemical dependency on chemicals. Means certain bacteria depend on certain chemicals for their nutrition. Like iron bacteria have, like sulfur bacteria have, like the green sulfur bacteria have, they all are acting on certain elements to get the nutrition or to get the energy. That means green sulfur bacteria is the one which depends upon sulfur for the nutrition. It will act on that and get the nutrition. It will not produce oxygen. That must be the right answer. But what about the last one? Let us see last one also. It is in Chara. What is Chara? Chara is a type of algae. It belongs to green algae and it is a hydrophyte. Algae means you should know that they are undergoing photosynthesis. They will have to, undergo photosynthesis. They will produce oxygen. But what about this? Green sulfur bacteria is the one which will undergo autotrophic nutrition, but acting on certain elements like sulfur bacteria, like iron bacteria, like nitrogen bacteria. These are all the examples where the bacteria depends on certain chemicals to get the energy. One of the example here given is green sulfur bacteria that depends on the sulfur to get energy, undergoing food production but no oxygen production. Therefore, among this, the right answer is the third one, that is green sulfur bacteria. Therefore, this is the right answer for this question. Let's begin with the second question. It is saying that double fertilization is. Double fertilization. So what is double fertilization? First of all, the question is double fertilization. Let us discuss the four options are given. Before going to the four options, I would like to give you explanation about double fertilization. Right? What is it? It is the type of fertilization that is restricted to angiospermic plants, in which there are two times fertilizations happening in the plant, in which one of the male gamete brought through the pollen tube fuses with the egg during syngamy, and another male gamete fertilizes with the polar nuclei which are already having N and N nuclei. This is N plus N already there. This is one more N. This is called as triple fusion. This is triple fusion because 3N will fuse here. Here it will be 2N diploid because it is N here it is N. So, two times angiosperms undergo fertilization. That is, one of the male gamete fertilizing the egg that forms zygote called syngamy, another male gamete fertilizing the polar nuclei which is called triple fusion. So if you learn the diagram, you will understand. If this is an embryo sac, here is the egg, here are the two synergids, here are two polar nuclei, and here we have the antipodal cells. These are the antipodal cells or antipodals. Okay, here are two polar nuclei, and this is the egg. These are the synergids. This is the synergid. This is the structure of embryo sac. This diagram is embryo sac diagram. Okay, when the male gamete is brought through the pollen tube, it will open up in the synergid. This is the pollen tube, and it releases both the male gametes, one male gamete, two male gametes. One of the male gamete immediately fuses with the egg here. Another one will travel all the way like this and fuses with the polar nuclei. This fusion, we call it as a triple fusion. This fusion, we call it as syngamy. This is what we call it as double fertilization. So the fertilization happening in these angiosperms is double fertilization. It is a characteristic feature of the angiosperms, where fertilization happens twice. But what else you should know is what happens after syngamy. Syngamy is regular union of male and female gametes. This forms a zygote. Zygote forms a future embryo. Whereas the triple fusion, after triple fusion, whatever you get is 3N, that forms primary endosperm nucleus. This will form the zygote, which is diploid in nature, but triple fused thing will form primary endosperm nucleus. This is 3N in nature. Okay, this is triploid. Coming to this, primary endosperm nucleus in future forms an endosperm, the nourishing tissue for the growing embryo. Zygote is a growing embryo which forms the future embryo or the plant. Right? This is the basic thing you have to learn before entering into the double fertilization. So once you understand this, then any question on double fertilization you can answer. Here what they have given options, now I will give you. The first option given here is, the first one is the fusion of two male gametes with one egg. That's the first option given. The union of two male gametes with one egg. It's a wrong option because both the male gametes are not going to fuse with the egg itself. As people already told you, about two, one will fuse with the egg, one will fuse with the polar nucleus. So first option is ruled out. Second one says fusion of one male gamete with two polar nuclei. Again, this is wrong because once you have learned this, you can't even go to those options because they are 100% wrong options. Because they are saying one male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei. Already two polar nuclei are there. According to them, this fusion they are calling it as double fertilization, which is wrong. Okay. Third one says fusion of two male gametes of a pollen tube with two different eggs. Again, it's wrong. Right? Last one says syngamy and triple fusion. So this must be the right answers because already I told you there is syngamy, there is triple fusion. That means answer should be the fourth one. So fourth option says the double fertilization means one syngamy, one triple fusion. Therefore, the answer for this is fourth option. Right? Let's start with the third question. It is something related with plant and animal co-evolution. Right? It says that you just see the screen for the question and the options. Okay? So let me give you in brief what is the question saying, what they ask actually. Which one of the following plants show a very close relationship with a species of moth where none of the two can complete its life cycle without the other? Right? Means there is option given that they are saying there is a one plant which says that that plant has a relation with one organism, one insect, the moth, without which it cannot continue its life cycle. Means if one is not there, another cannot survive. What is the answer for this? They are given four options: banana, yucca, hydrilla and viola. Right? There are four options given. The overall question says that there is a plant. It depends on certain moth for its pollination, and without that moth the plant cannot survive, or without the plant moth cannot survive. That is the question. See, I have made some small interpretation of that question. Right? Which is that plant which is having very close relationship with some of the type of moth. Right? Without each other they cannot survive. Banana they have given, I should straight away say that this is a wrong answer. Banana is a wrong answer because banana is normally vegetatively propagated plant, can cut the rhizomatic stem and grow into new plant. It hardly undergo any pollination and fertilization. Right? Therefore, anyway, you have seen banana also. Banana fruits are seedless fruits. Seedless fruits are possible if the plant is producing the fruits without fertilization or parthenocarpy. Therefore, the banana plant is not a really sexually reproducing plant. Therefore, the fruits are seedless fruits. Next one, it is saying yucca, Y-U-C-C-A, yucca plant. Actually, it is a very huge spiny plant, whether you have seen it or not. It is actually having a spiny stem like this will be, and a huge inflorescence will be growing like this. Is a big inflorescence growing, and the plant is like a huge plant which grows normally in the desert condition. Right? Whenever you observe the flower, this flower has certain kind of what you call nectar, on which these moth young ones will feed. Means whenever eggs are hatched, the mother will enter into the flower and produce the eggs. Eggs, when they hatch, when the larvae or the moth will come out, it has to feed on the nectar. Then they will grow. Right? If the flower is not there, then the mother cannot lay the eggs in any other area. And once this happens, during the when it is moving, the moths are moving, they will take out the pollen grain of their body parts and transmit to another plant. Therefore, this plant is specifically pollinated by Pranuba. The name of the moth is Pranuba. Pranuba. That's the name of the moth. This moth will only pollinate this plant, that is yucca, right? And not other type of insects. It's an insect pollinated plant, right? Therefore, in yucca or yucca should be the right answer. In regular language, this is like a devil tree, they call it. It's a huge one and very spiny in nature, and it's a little scary plant also. Therefore, it's called the devil tree plant, right? That is yucca. That must be the right answer. Let us see other two answers also. Third one is given as hydrilla plant, and the fourth one given as the viola. Fourth one is a viola plant. So this hydrilla is a water plant, and viola also will not take part in insect pollination. So you should go on identifying which is not correct to this or which is not connected to this. So among this, banana is not there. Hydrilla is a water plant, it will pollinate it through water current only. Viola also water plant, is not getting pollinated by this. Therefore, it should be yucca, and I told you the relations between yucca and Pranuba moth. Therefore, it should be the right answer for this question. Right? So that's a simple straight question like this. But for this, you need to know what is meant by co-evolution. Right? Let us now move on to the next question. See the screen for the next question. Pollen grains can be stored for several years in liquid nitrogen temperature. That's a fourth question. Pollen grains are stored. This is the question saying pollen grains are stored in liquid nitrogen temperature. Liquid nitrogen temperature. So the question asked is, how much is the liquid nitrogen temperature actually? Right? Liquid, why you normally store? We call it as the liquid nitrogen temperature is the condition in which the pollen grains can arrest their cytoplasm and chromosomes in that particular stage. Right? This is a liquid nitrogen temperature. If you store them in this condition, then they stay at any number, for any number of years, they will stay as they are. Right? Therefore, liquid nitrogen is a best preservative where most of the pollen grains and seeds are stored. Right? So, what is the temperature then? Among this, first one is minus 196 degree centigrade. First one. Second one is given as minus 80 degrees centigrade. Third one is minus 120 degrees centigrade. Fourth one is minus 160 degrees centigrade. So among the four options, you must know that liquid nitrogen temperature is only the first one, minus 196 degrees centigrade. Only in this condition, the pollen grains or some seeds in their gene bank, they are stored in this. So normally, this is the best way to store the plant and plant organs and any other parts of the plant in arrested condition. Right? When you bring them out of that temperature, they start growing. So this is the basic way they will store it. Right? Till today, most of the biological labs and all, they store only organs and all in this liquid nitrogen temperature. Even in the gene bank, the chromosomes of the mother or whatever we talk now about the stem cells and all, they are stored in liquid nitrogen temperature. Okay? That's about the answer you got for the fourth question. Okay, I hope you understood this. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, the fifth question. Okay, it says, which of the following elements is responsible for maintaining turgor pressure in the cell? Okay, fifth one. The element required, element for maintaining turgor pressure or turgor in the cell. Okay, they are saying turgor pressure or some element is involved in maintaining turgidity of the cell. Right. First one they say potassium. Potassium. Second one is sodium. Sodium. Third one is magnesium. And next one is, fourth one is calcium. Okay, magnesium and calcium. So you need to identify which is the particular element required for maintaining turgidity in the cell. So this is direct question. There are some of the questions which you have to just memorize. This is just a memorizing question. So simply you can write it is potassium, because always there will be potassium involving turgidity, turgor pressure. Therefore, that is the right option, potassium. Okay. Now let's move on to next question. What is the role of NAD? Let me talk about the sixth question now, not seventh. It is the sixth question. What is the role of NAD plus? NAD plus. What is the importance of NAD plus in cellular respiration? See how the question is having the change in the subjects, right? Cellular respiration. So have you learned this? Cellular respiration, have you studied it? Right? You know that cellular respiration involves three important steps. One is glycolysis, second one is Krebs cycle, third one is electron transport system. In all of these three steps or three different processes, what is the role of NAD? You can tell me. NAD, wherever it is produced, you can see glycolysis, there are 2 NAD converting to NADH2, and in Krebs cycle there are totally 8 NAD converting to NADH2, and all at the end NAD converts. So where you are learned, I just give you, in glycolysis there is a production of 2 NADH2, where NAD will get the electron and form the NADH, hydrogen ions to form NADH2. Same way, if you think of Krebs cycle, you should have all these ideas. Krebs cycle, you get totally formation of 8 NADH2. Here only 2 are formed. Here there are 8 NADH2 formed. Whereas at the end, what we call it, electron transport system, these NADH2 formed will undergo ionization, NAD plus 2H plus 2 electron, right? They pass through various electron carriers. This is the importance of NAD. Okay? They say that first option, it is a nucleotide source for ATP synthesis, right? How it is possible? It can't be connected with ATP synthesis. Second one says, it functions as an electron carrier. You can make out very clearly, whenever NAD convert to NADH2, see, it is taking electrons and hydrogen together. Therefore, it is the major electron carrier in all the respiratory reactions. After whenever it is broken down, ATPs are released. Therefore, third one, the second option must be right. Let's talk about the third one. It functions as an enzyme. It can't be an enzyme. Enzymes are already there. In every reaction there is an enzyme. Fourth one says it is a final electron acceptor for the anaerobic respiration. 100% wrong. Why? Because anaerobic respiration involves the production of either ethyl alcohol or lactic acid. So no NADH2, because NADH2, if it is formed, is a characteristic of the aerobic respiration. Therefore, the second option, which says that it functions as an electron carrier, is the right option, because it takes up the electrons. Right? Now, that's the answer for the sixth question. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is saying, which of the following forms is an ion absorbed by plants? is iron absorbed by plants? Which of the following forms is iron absorbed by the plants? Means it's a seventh question. Where Fe is absorbed by the plants? That's a question. So always you have to narrow down the question. Whole question, you just make one meaning. Then otherwise the whole question, keep on reading 10 times, you will not get the meaning easily. You make your own meanings for the questions, what they have asked actually. Right? The question is given already. First one says free element, second one is ferrous, third one says ferric, then both ferric and ferrous. Means in which form this iron is taken by the plants? That's the question. So you know that the complete cycle of, you have learned the complete cycle of ammonia and ferrous, ferric, you have learned it already I think, where you find that the Fe, that is what we call it as a ferric, is the only Fe plus 2 is absorbed by the plant, not Fe plus 3. Fe plus 3 will not be ferrous. It is Fe plus, ferrous is not absorbed, but ferric is an absorbable form of iron content in plant.